Out my plan to ensure that the United States will be the crypto capital of the planet and the Bitcoin superpower of the world, and we'll get it done.
President Trump last year vowing to make the United States the crypto capital of the world. While that is still up for debate, what can be confirmed is that the Trump family specifically has become a crypto magnet, raking in over $4 billion on the digital currency since Election Day. The Wall Street Journal reports the Trump family's crypto venture has generated more wealth since the election than any other part of the president's business empire. However, the ways in which that money was made and who led the financial charge is leading to questions of conflicts of interest. And joining us now, one of the reporters on that piece, the Wall Street Journal's Angus Berwick. Angus, let's begin at the beginning here. The president and his family, they launched this currency, USD1. What is it exactly, and how is it traded?
Hi, yeah, it's great to be here. So USD1, it's a stable coin. It's a cryptocurrency that's pegged against the dollar. There are a number of, much more popular stable coins, Tether and Circle. The Trump family, via their World Liberty financial venture, they're looking to kind of enter that marketplace, and their plan is to try to take the top spot.
So how does this cryptocurrency develop value, and how does the Trump family make billions out of it?
So with USD1, you go to World Liberty, you give them $1, they'll issue you, one USD1 token, and with the money that World Liberty then collects, they can then invest that in the reserves that underpin the currency. This is primarily, kind of U.S. government treasuries. So far, World Liberty, they've accumulated about $2.2 billion in reserves to underpin USD1. And at current interest rates, that means they're earning they can earn about $80 million a year in interest.
And so we're showing this graphic. The company Binance, which is involved here, receives a $2 billion investment, you report, from an outside investor paid with Trump's coin. And that deal causes the circulation of Trump's coin to then skyrocket. And then Binance actually pays people up to $1 million to trade it, all the while the Trump family is making money on the interest?
Exactly. So, of the total amount of USD1 in circulation, Binance is currently holding the vast majority of that, about $2 billion. And that's enabling, the Trump family and World Liberty to profit from those reserves. In addition, according to our reporting, Binance, through a kind of an external platform, it's basically enabling a huge amount of trading in USD1, which is allowing the Trump family to say that this token, that there's a very high amount of demand for their token in the marketplace. The more the token is circulating, the more money they can earn from the reserves.
It seems like that initial investment is what allowed it to have this sort of big explosion effect, to have all of these coins now circulating in the marketplace, which adds to the value here. Do we know who made that initial investment?
So, the initial kind of big break for USD1 was that a UAE fund called MGX, they were making a $2 billion investment into Binance, and this investment was paid in USD1. And from there, Binance then kind of took control of the USD1, and given that if you were to take Binance away, there's quite a high likelihood that its market capitalization could shrink all the way back down to around kind of $200 million.
And talk to us about this other potential conflict of interest. Who is the founder and the co-owner of Binance, and how does he fit into all of this?
So the founder of Binance is Changpeng Zhao, or CZ. He's probably the richest man in the crypto world. Binance, they paid a $4.3 billion fine to settle anti-money laundering violations 2 years ago. CZ, he was in jail for 4 months last year.
Here in the U.S.
And he's in the U.S. Yeah, and he's CZ has said publicly that he is seeking a pardon from President Trump. And, through our reporting, we've been looking at how, at the same time that he's seeking a pardon, Binance has been, helping World Liberty Financial, grow its crypto business.
It's a fascinating article. Thank you for sharing your reporting with us, Angus Berwick. I encourage people to take a look on the Wall Street Journal. The recipe behind the Trump family's crypto riches: pancake swap.